This child can face uncertain days because he lived. Because he lived, I can face tomorrow. Because he lived, all fear is gone. Because I know, yes, I know, he owns the future. Our life is worth a living just because he lived. I like this last stanza. It says, and then one day I'll cross that river, I'll fight life and no war with pain, and then I'll stand, gives way to victory. I'll see the light of glory, and I know he lives. Get out, everybody. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. Because I know, yes, I know, he owns the future. And life is worth the living just because he lived. Amen. Thank God that he's still alive and he's reigning on high. Right now, we're going to ask Brother Kenny come to the mic and open us in a word of prayer as we start this service. Brother Kenny.
Gracious and Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing us, making each and every one of us capable of coming out tonight. Giving praise to you, Lord. Thank you for this wonderful weekend of youth and fellowship, Lord. Pray that next year it could all be the same, and we could invite even more youths to come out and hear the word, Lord. Learn how to live the word, Lord. In the name of Jesus, I pray, amen.
Amen. Amen. Let's remain standing right over the next page. Number 2, he's everything to me. He's everything to me. In the stars of handiwork I see. On the wind he speaks with majesty. Though he ruled over land and sea, what is that to me? When we get to the part, we're going to clap hard. Come on. Yeah. In the stars as handiwork I see. On the wind he speaks with majesty. Though he ruled over land and sea, what is that to me? I will celebrate nativity, for it has a place in history. Sure, he came to set his people free. What is that to me? Sing. Tell by faith I met him face to face, and I felt the one of his grace, and I knew that he was more than just a God who didn't care, that lives away there, and now he walks beside me day by day, ever watching lest I stray, helping me to find that narrow way. He's everything to me. Now come on now, you all had the weak clap. I want you to clap. When you clap so hard, the ceiling tile jump up a bit. How does that sound? Okay? Let's get the ceiling tile, making some little rattling in the ceiling. All right? We can live with that. Pastor, don't mind. We'll all have a rain fix it tomorrow. All right, there we go. In the stars is handiwork I see again. Come on, sing it. Lift your voice, young people. In the stars is handiwork I see. On the wind he speaks with majesty. Though he rode it over land and sea, what is that to me? I will celebrate nativity, for it has a place in history. Sure, he came to set his people free. What is that to me? Tell by faith I met him face to face. Ooh, and I felt the one his grace. And I knew that he was more than just a God who didn't care. That lives away up there. And now he walks beside me day by day. Ever watching over lest I stray, helping me to find that narrow way. He's everything to me. One more time. Tell by faith. Tell by faith I met him face to face. Ooh, and I felt the wondrous of his grace. And I knew that he was more. Get ready for a God who didn't care. That lives away up there, and now he walks beside me day by day. Ever watching over lest I stray, helping me to find that narrow way. He's everything to me. He's everything to me. He's everything to me. He's everything. He's everything to me. Amen. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And welcome those of you who've been out here every night this week. Raise your hand. Wow, I got something for you, all right? I got something for you before the night is over. All right, I'm going to give you a big cheer. Yeah, all right. All right, you did good. You did well. You did well, all right? We're going to have some little games later on. And as we go on and the rest of the folks come, we're going to get started. Of course, the lady I'm about to introduce to you, from this point on, I don't want no competition up here. Mandrisha, Venetia, any fidgeting I see unnecessary, I call you out. You all know about the Wilton go, right? Because I can call you up here, and you can take my spot, and Miss Jones' spot, and you can tell us what the next session is supposed to be. If you want that, keep talking. Okay. Well, again, it's a joy and a privilege to call on this young lady. I've known her mom and her dad, who were both policemen. She decided to follow in their footsteps. She worked with me for a very long time. Matter of fact, she was one of my lecturers. Every island I go on to train people, I take her with me. I never leave her. And we went to a few islands training people in certain policing aspect, and I took her and a group of other persons with me. And I tell you what, just to know that I had her on my team made me look good. A lot of time what I do is what I'm going to do tonight, introduce her, and she just do the job and make me look good. And they give me both the thanks, but it's really her and others who make me look good. So again, like I said, we had a good working relationship. She loved the Lord. She's married. She has 2 wonderful children. And of course, like I said, I watched her grow. She worked with me several times. And of course, again, when I was at National Security, she worked with me there in my last stint there. And of course, again, help me welcome Woman Inspector Deantia Jones. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes to speak to us on a topic that is very timely. A topic that is very timely right now. She is one of the officers in charge of Urban Renewal Camp Road. And so as you live in the Camp Road area, you might see her from time to time, coming when you get in trouble. She's the one who sets you in the right direction and keep you going good. Amen? So again, she's going to speak on a very timely topic. I'm going to let her announce it. And then so you can get a drift of it. And I want you to pay attention as she has some slideshow on screen and some PowerPoints to show you on the screen. Again, one more time for my officer, Inspector Jones. Yeah! That's your for yeah! Say, ooh, ooh! All right.
A pleasant good night to all. Now, I have known Mr. Johnson for some time, and Mr. Johnson keeps on forgetting that I'm married. So I'm actually Inspector Jones Coakley. So I'm at the Freetown Urban Renewal. And in the urban area, we normally face a lot of social ills. And domestic violence and sexual violence is one of our peak issues that persons normally try to run away from. And domestic violence is the cause of a lot of killing, disputes, mix-up, what the young people like to say, a lot of slapping up. And it's something that we need to know about and need to know how to address and need to know signs. Even though you're teenagers, you have your domestic disputes. You have your quarrels with your friends. But you need to understand and know what you're actually going through and how to address it. So we're going to start with what is domestic violence. Domestic violence is defined as a pattern of behavior that includes physical, sexual, emotional, psychological, financial abuse committed by a person against a spouse, partner, child, or any other person who is a member or of a dependent. So that could be you. It could happen to you, your mommy, your daddy, anybody. Any quarrel in the house, it could be physical. Even though you're teenagers, it's financial. Things that you need and your parents are supposed to support you with, you're deprived of it. So domestic violence contains all of these issues. Also, a domestic dispute is generally any quarrel which may or may not include violence. So when you have those arguments and you want to tell somebody off or you want to bully somebody and you feel like, okay, I just telling them what it is, and you actually belittling the person or making them feel less than a person, you're having a domestic dispute. Domestic violence is assumed to be a female concern. While females do make up the majority of domestic violence victims, domestic abuse can and does occur to men as well. It does. But a lot of times, men try to hide it. A lot of times you are with your friends, you're a female, and in school, it's a habit that girls like to hit boys, and when the boys hit them back, then they say, oh, you're not supposed to hit me because I'm a girl. But it's fine that you as a girl that you're hitting them, and nobody must say anything to you. But it isn't right. Because just how you wouldn't want anybody to touch you, you shouldn't touch anybody else. And if people touching me, I'm offended. So if you don't want nobody to touch you, don't touch the other person. And it isn't okay for girls to hit on boys and that they have to accept it. What we teach persons is, hey, keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch anybody. You're not better than me and I'm not better than you. Nobody give you the authority to touch me and nobody give me the authority to touch you. So y'all keep your hands to yourselves. Please. Okay. So we have the different, I need to go back. So when we talk about the culture of violence, violence goes back to slavery. I don't know if you could see the slide. It goes back to slavery. Slavery time, colonism, patriarchy, drug trade. Slave masters used violence and sexual abuse to control their slaves. So it went up from slavery, then it went up to patriarchal oppression of males and females to conform to any power structure. Now I know in the Bahamian culture, you have a lot of men. I'm the male. You have to listen to what I say. I'm the head of the home. What I say goes. Right? Y'all, some of y'all heard that before? What I say goes. That's that male dominance. And it doesn't matter if the male is bringing in money or not. As far as they're concerned, hey, my parents, we know the male is the head of the home, and whatever the man say, you have to listen to. That's correct? That's correct. It isn't correct, but it happens. Okay. Then it goes back to frustration, anger, fears, underachievement. A lot of person, when they underachieve, person make them feel less than because, hey, I'm doing better than you, so I could point fingers at you and make you feel that you're less than you are. And then we have the different types of violence and abuse. We have physical abuse, which occurs when somebody uses parts of their body or an object to control a person's action. And when we talk about physical and controlling person's actions, right? If I know you're afraid of something, let's use an example, girls normally afraid of frogs or rats. If I have a frog or a rat, and I want you to do something, I will put that frog right by your foot and tell you, if you don't do this right then and there, you will know what will happen to you. Or it would be to an extent whereas you have your boyfriend and girlfriend, you're saying your boyfriend and girlfriend or your friends, And if you do something that they don't like, then they want to hit you. We also go to sexual violence. This occurs when a person is forced to unwillingly take part in any sexual activity. You all are at the age where sometimes things that you're not exposed to at home, your friends or your classmates may bring it to school. And then you all see things on YouTube. You see things on TikTok. You see things on Facebook. So you may be exposed to some things, and persons may threaten you or force you to do things that you don't want to. And they may use violence to sexually assault you. And we're going to be realistic, because you go to school and you have a lot of incidents when you hear things about persons being pulled in the office, or females performing oral sex on males, and then when they get catch, then somebody forces it. It's a lot of different things, and y'all need to be realistic, because these things happen in your schools. Not every school, but it happens. Emotional violence. This occurs when somebody says or does something to make a person feel stupid or worthless. For example, sometimes parents may, if you do something that they don't like, they may say, "Man, you're so stupid," or "You just like your daddy," or "You're not going to be nothing." That's a form of emotional violence and abuse. Then we have psychological violence. This occurs when somebody uses threats and causes fear for an individual to gain control. This includes deprivation of liberty, forced marriages, and sexual harassment. Now, persons in school forcing you to do things or commit sexual acts, that's sexual harassment. Even when you young ladies, when you're on the road and you hear these males speaking at you or trying to get your attention or going out their way to try to impress you, that's sexual harassment. And it happens to the males too, because we have forward females who would come and inappropriately touch males and giggle like it's okay and it's fine, being fast. It happens to males and females. Then we have spiritual or religious violence. This occurs when someone uses an individual's spiritual belief to manipulate, dominate, or control that person. Cultural violence occurs when an individual is harmed as a result of practices that are part of his or her culture in religion or tradition, but normally that happens in foreign countries. Then we also have toxic masculinity. The male, the alpha, who's always in control, like I spoke about earlier. Toxic masculinity can be defined as an adherence to traditional male gender roles that restrict the kinds of emotions allowable for boys and men to express, including social expectation that men seek to be dominant, the alpha male, and limits their emotional range primarily to expression of anger. We have the habit to say boys are not supposed to cry. That's incorrect. If you're sad or you want to cry, it's okay to cry. Because if you don't express yourself, it builds up. It causes you to become frustrated. And when you cannot express your feelings, it turns into violence. Some may use other forms of therapeutic ways like music to vent, or some may use, counseling or drawing and other forms to try to relieve their stress. But those who don't have these things available to them, or who just can't handle the pressure, when a person comes to them, they're always on edge. You say something to them that they don't like, they're ready to fight. It could be as simple as you going somewhere and you miss and tip somebody's shoulder. What's your problem? They're ready to fight. Simple accident. No pun intended. You didn't mean to do it, but because they're going through whatever they're going through, the first person who passed them get it. They get it. And then we go to power and control. People love power and people love to control. Everybody likes a little power, but it's how far you take this power and what you do with the power when you have it. Abusive power and control is the way that an abusive person gains and maintains power and control over another person in order to subject that victim to psychological, physical, sexual, or financial abuse. The motivation of abusers are varied and can include devaluation, envy, personal gain, personal gratification, psychological project, or just the sake of the enjoyment of exercising control. That's like bullies. If I know I could make you cry, or I could embarrass you just to make me feel good, they will embarrass you in the front of your peers. And because you may be taught to walk away from bullies, they might just target you, to pick on you, wherever you go, to embarrass you. And they gain that power. Not because, and their power is you not answering or you not standing up. So if they feel like they could get away with it, they will continue doing it. And then we have narcissist abusers, persons who are full of themselves. No matter what you say or do, they are correct. God, this chair could be red. God could come down and say, this chair could be, this chair is red. And if this person thinks that this chair is blue, God could come down and say the chair red, and that narcissist wouldn't believe that. They will not. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, whatever they believe is right, it's right. No matter how much you try to friend up that person, whatever their belief you may be taught something else, whatever their belief is correct. Nobody can persuade them, and everything is about them. You could have on a nice dress, and you could look the best in the world. But as far as they're concerned, the attention has to be on them. They will make you feel bad because they want the attention for them. And it's all about them and only them. Okay. Now, with power and control, this thing is a little small. We have the power wheel. I need to open this a little bit. I just need to see bigger so I can see. Okay, so with the power and control, we have the power wheel. The power wheel basically shows how a person uses physical and sexual violence to control a person. Some use intimidation. When they put that fear in you, you do what they say. They could set up a whole armed robbery and threaten you to say, well, okay, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to hurt your family. Nobody's here to help you. Nobody's going to assist you. So they use that intimidation with fear to control what you do. Then we have emotional abuse. We go back to persons belittling individuals, talking down to you, making you feel like you're stupid, just basically to have their way. So when they are wrong, they switch it to make it feel that you're the person that caused the whole issue. Also, isolation. When we talk about isolation, you guys have your friendship. When you see you have certain friends telling you, hey, don't hang with this person, don't go with that person, and they basically want to control who you talk to, who you could be around, that's something you have to be mindful of. If you have an issue with somebody else, that shouldn't be another person's issue. So you shouldn't try to control what the other person is doing. And when you have friends like that, you need to take a step back. You have to take a step back. Everybody has their own mind, and everybody thinks and acts differently. So if you like the color purple, that don't mean I like purple. I might like blue. But because I like blue, you shouldn't tell me I should like purple because you like purple. So we have a problem there. You have to be your own individual. You can't allow people to dictate to you who you are and what you want to be. Because when you become older, you decide your fate and your future. The same friends that sit on the side of you and tell you what to do, they're not going to be there. Sometimes you have friends who are excelling in school and you may be better with trade. But they make you feel some type of way because academically, with math, English, and science, they're doing better. But you with food, nutrition, electronics, and other computer, IT, you may be doing well there. But because they feel that they have the upper hand, you know, they make you feel less than who you are. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that's your future. You make the decision whether you can be somebody or you can be a bum. Because when you become an adult and you realize that you have bills and responsibility, you're going to realize that nobody's going to be there to help you. Nobody's going to give you anything. They're going to say, oh, you're a young, strong working man, a young, strong girl, a young, strong boy. You could go there and work. And that's why you also have to be grateful for your parents. Because the things that you have, a lot of people don't have. I see a lot of y'all with nails, y'all females with nails, nice braids, locks, well-groomed. You have some children who can't even get some of the things that you have. I work in Camp Road in the urban renewal. I have many days where I have persons who come just to look for breakfast. I have days where we have to bring children inside and tell them, hey, go in the bathroom, wash up. We have a change of clothes for you. Because they have nobody to wash their clothes. So I just want you all to know, you have to be grateful for what you have. You are very privileged. And in today's society, especially after the pandemic, things are really hard. It's really hard. Minimum wage is $260. One-bedroom apartment rent is up to $1,200. So you do the calculation, $260 a week. That can't cover your rent. And then you have to eat. You need your personal effects. You all like to go out with no money. You all make plans. You all make plenty plans for your parents without no money to pay and no gas money for these trips. I know all y'all guilty of that, right? Because I know my children guilty for that. They always making plans with no money. And then I have to find it. But you have to be grateful. Grateful for what you have. Grateful for your parents. Grateful for the sacrifices. Sometimes when they tell you, turn off that game. Come off the cell phone. It's only because they want the best for you. They don't want you to work as hard as they have to work to take care of you. In the Bahamas now, we have to basically some persons need 2 jobs just to make ends meet. So that's why they encourage you to get your education so that things would be a little smoother for you. That's why they push and encourage you to either get a trade or to go off to college so that your pay will be able to maintain you. Not that because they making noise in your head or they slapping up, like you like to say, they slapping up, or they just making a bunch of noise for no reason. Mommy and daddy freaking out for no reason. But it's that they don't want you to go through the hardship that they went through. And I know I go in all off topic because we were talking about domestic violence, but as I see the youth, I have to switch the topic because we have to be realistic. We have to be realistic. There's summer vacation, there's summer breaks. Be responsible. Be responsible. Your parents leave you home. They tell you don't come outside, stay inside. the murder rate is high. These iPhone, you go outside, you on your iPhone, you're not paying attention. Because you have it and the persons don't have it, you know what they're doing? They coming to take what you have. And they're not worrying about consequences. I know that we could track iPhone, but then you also have persons who could clear iPhones. Be responsible. Teenagers, you're all to the age now where you have a lot of persons who are promiscuous. When you get older, you can be tired of boyfriend and girlfriend. Don't rush. Don't rush. Anything that can cause you a lot of stress, anything that cause you to get in problems with your parents because they're telling you one thing and then the person tells you, oh, come, let's go do this, leave that alone. When you become adults, you're going to be tired. You're going to get tired. Don't rush to be adults. Now, if you want to take my place and take some of my bills, we could change places. I would like for somebody, you sure? Because you're well-groomed. I could just switch places with you and you could come and take on my bills and take care of my children and pay college fees and everything for me. We could switch the roles. We could switch the roles. But you have to, and I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to talk about domestic violence, but I know I switch, but it's important that you hear these things. It is important. You control the decisions you make. Everybody knows from right. They know it's right from wrong. At the age of 7, do you know at the age of 7 by law that you can be arrested? At the age of 7 years old, you can be arrested. You can. And if you decide that if your parents give you instructions and you decide that you don't want to listen, they bring you to social services, bring you to the police. You know what happened after that? If you don't want to be controlled or ruled by your parents, then you become property of the state. And when you become property of the state, you know what happened? We tell you what to do, what to wear, where to go, what time to get up, what time to go to sleep, and what to eat. So those who like fast food, no fast food around here. And you know, another thing, the same mommy and daddy who you don't listen to. When you misbehave, we can stop you from actually seeing them as a punishment. And when you get in trouble, you know who coming to see you? Mommy and daddy. No friends. No friends. They laughing at you. That one's stupid, eh? She run away. And look where she is now. They will talk about you like a dog. Because of the decisions you make, because you want to be free and you want to do whatever you want to do. Don't make sense. Nobody wants to tell. And to be realistic too, when you go to William A. Pratt or Simpson Pen, and you decide that you don't want to listen there, we take it a little step further. We send you to prison. We send you to the Department of Corrections. And I'm certain nobody want to use a bucket to use the bathroom. Nobody want to use the bathroom in a cell in front of 4 or 5 people. All right? Nobody wants to do that. It isn't hygienic because you have to eat in that cell. You have to sleep in that cell. You have to wait early in the morning when they come to take out the bucket. And when they come with the food, the same buggy, they come to bring your food in. We don't know if they hose it off. But that same buggy have to come back and bring your food to you. When they cook their peas and rice, and they stir that big pot, that big 2x4, what they use to hold the bottom of the spoon, when you see that, you will fall out. That isn't somewhere where you want to go. That isn't fit for a dog. So you have to make conscious and rational decisions. Every one of you. Each and every one of you. You have to start planning now. Those who are in grade 10, you have to start planning your future on where you're going from grade 10, 11, and 12. That's the most crucial time in your life because you're prepping yourself for adulthood. So you have to make up your mind. You can't just be nonchalant. I don't know what I want to do yet. Well, if you don't know, who knows? You have to make up your mind what you're going to do. Nobody can make it up for you. You know you want to go off to college. You know mommy may not have that much money. You find clubs. You play sports. All these things help you. College of the Bahamas, University of the Bahamas, free of charge for all Bahamians. Not everybody could afford to go abroad. University of the Bahamas is an awesome university. Once you can make it there, you can make it anywhere else. And it's free. Free. You may have to pay, what, $302 for registration and insurance, but it's free. You started at the University of the Bahamas, and if you don't want to stay, you work hard, get a full scholarship to go abroad. We have all kinds of scholarships offered for Bahamians, and we don't take advantage of it. But then, when we see persons of Haitian descent or Jamaican descent in our country excelling, we have an issue. We have an issue. These Haitians come here to take over. These Jamaicans come here to take over. They're human just like you. They are offered the same opportunity like you. Take advantage. Because you want to play and they want to take their education serious. That's the difference. Don't wait until you graduate from school to pay all kind of money to resit the same exams when you had the opportunity to pass it with help. Because these courseworks that you have to prepare, it helps with your grades. When you come out of school, you don't get that extra help. You have to figure it out. When the teacher have to sit down and explain to you, and then you have one or two who want to interrupt the classroom, and it takes away from what you're learning, it's an issue. So you have to take advantage of every opportunity that is given to you. Every single opportunity. If you can't play sports, learn how to play an instrument. If you can't play an instrument, learn how to fix hair or do nails. If you can't fix hair, nails, you could become a barber. You could have your own barber shop. It's plenty things out there for you to do. If you don't want to work for anybody, you plan what you're going to do. You could start off with a small business license, home base, and it's free. You just need your documents, a passport, NID card, 1 or 2 contributions. It is free. Take advantage of everything that is offered to you. Because if it's offered one time and you don't take it, it may not come right back right then and there. It may come 10 years later, and then when you get it, you might be like, oh, I'm too old. Take advantage of everything you have. Everything you have. When I was younger, I'll use an example. When I was younger, I went to St. Bede's primary school. Graduated. For grade 7, I was supposed to go to Aquinas. At the time, my dad agreed to pay school fee. So my mother sent me on this big expensive trip to Disney World. She said, only one place you could go is Aquinas because that's the cheapest school fee. And that's the only thing I could do for you at this time. Uniform ready, books ready, time to go to school. My daddy couldn't pay my school fee. So my mother decided, hey, school's not open. She took me to A.F. Adley. I went to A.F. Adley for grade 7. When I went there that first term, that was like hell for me. Because I came from a private school, everybody wanted to fight. Because I didn't come from a feeder school, so I didn't have friends. So the first semester, I fight now. I didn't want to. I fight when they come. I beat them up. So to let them know I'm not the one. I beat them up. So after that, they leave me alone. But I was exposed because at that time, the junior school and the senior school was together. So me not knowing what gambling was, like going around the corner, they shooting dice. This one snatch up in the corner, this one kissing over there, that one by the gym. I went to school for excitement. The only class I passed was maths because that was my homeroom teacher. And she was ensuring that I did not miss her class. But I went to school for entertainment. So after the first report card came and I got 1.99, I got my hip wailed to pieces. I was thinking, oh, this woman don't love me. She's trying to kill me. I had 2 more semesters to regain myself. But you know what happened? I get caught up. I play, I party, I duck class. Report card, they come again. 1.99. That was the next cut. So I say, you know what? This ain't making no sense. Let me put myself together. So my mother said, okay, let me let you take a test for Princeville and Aquinas again. But guess what? I passed it. I passed the exams to get to the private school. So she said, you know what? Before you go down the wrong path, let me just switch. Because my grade point average was low, I had to go to summer school. When I went to Princeville for summer school, new environment again, new people. Now, we had a Tropsy crew, and then we had a crew who was trying to just pass to get in. So I said, you know what? When I was there, I was with the Tropsy crew. So I got to venture to the next way. So I went, passed. I was able to go to Prince Williams. So when I looked, I saw my mother working an extra job. She said, I ain't going to your daddy for no money. I can do what I have to do to make sure you're straight. So when I saw her making the sacrifices, I said to myself, I said, you know what, this ain't making no sense. Let me pull myself together. Went to Princeville for grade 8. I was in the lowest scream. By that Christmas semester, I moved up. Grade 9, I was to the top scream. But I had to go through my experience to realize what I wanted to do. That was my choice. I had to get some good cut-up. But I realized that when I started to perform well and I started to do well, I was given a lot of opportunities. Everything I wanted, computer. Back then we had the old box Nokia. I had everything because at that point in time, all she wanted me to do was go to school and get an education. No pressure. Do your little chores, do your schoolwork. Going into adulthood, I went, in grade 12, I went and I joined police cadets. Now, both of my parents being police officers, back then, it was a little rough. Females were treated differently. It was rough for females. So when it was time for me to join the force, I took all my I took the applications in, took all my BGC SC results in. I didn't tell them anything. Because I was a police cadet, I had access to go right in the police college to the training center. So, well, I finished school at 16, so I had to go to BBC. So when I turned 18, September 21st, I went in training September 24th when I turned 18. 2 weeks before I had to come in for training, that's when my mom found out that I went to join the force. She said to me, you're not joining. You're not joining. You know how hard it was for me? They can mistreat you. I say, Mommy, I have to go. That's what I want to do. She said, no, it's rough for females. They treat females differently. It's rough. I don't want you to go. So I went to my dad. I said, please, that's what I want to do. I say, I didn't put pressure on you. Any one of you to ask you for anything, I just allow me to do it. So he said to me, okay, I'm proud of you because you made the decision to do it on your own. So we would go with it. We sat down, talked to my mom. She's like, okay. She didn't like it at first, so I sweet up. I said, Mommy, when I'm in training, you can keep my salary. You keep the whole salary. And all I need you to do is wash my clothes and bring my food. So she said, okay. When I passed out, I said, nah, it's time for you to turn it over now. I need my own money. So I got to do what I need to do with my own money. So she said, okay. But I made the decision to take the positive route. I could have mind my friends or my cousins, because I'm from Camp Road. My cousin who was close to me, she had a child at the age of, I think she was 14. At 14. So we was right there playing house, playing baby with a real baby. But at the end of the day, I knew, based on what I saw her struggling with, that that was something that I didn't want. I didn't want to be in a position where I was dropping out of school early because I have a baby, can't find a good job to take care of the child. Oh, they're struggling. And then you have to take abuse from people. So I made up my mind to take the positive route, to do what's best for me, to make my life a little bit harder now. I must say, when I first joined, it was a little rough because, you know, males are more dominant. And then I had to adjust. And then now I'm just like one of the fellas. I'm an alpha just like one of the fellas. Nobody could take advantage. You know, you learn and you grow. But at the end of the day, like I say, you make that decision so that you will become somebody. You have to make that decision. And it starts from small. When I go to Uriah Maxey School, it is the best. But you have a lot of gang violence. You have children at the age of 7 who are recruiting other children to be a part of gangs. And nobody wants their young 7-year-old being in fear because somebody is forcing them to be a part of a gang. Nobody wants to be in fear of their child being exposed to these vapes and marijuana because children try things what they see. You have the choice. You have the choice. It starts with you. You have the choice. Like I say, a lot of you are well-grown. You like nice stuff. Nobody is going to hand anything out to you free. Nobody. The only thing free is salvation. It's salvation. The only person who's going to accept you for who you are, with no flaws or no fault or looking down on you, is God. Because we are human. So you have to make up in your mind that you're going to make the right choices for you. Don't mind what other people do. Make the choice to better yourself. Better yourself. And Mr. Johnson, we got to do domestic violence another time. But I had to switch. I had to switch when I saw the amount of youths inside here. And we could come back with domestic violence another time. But I just want to encourage you guys to put your best foot forward and to keep pushing. You're not going to get everything right the right time, but don't give up on yourself. You have to love yourself first before you love anybody else. You can't love other people if you don't love yourself. Nothing is too good for you. And you have to always remember that. Nothing is too good for you. So I would encourage you to keep on pushing, keep on trying until you get to your goal where you want to be. Make up your mind if you're going to say, okay, this semester, I'm going to make a 3.5, you push towards that 3.5. If you fall short of 3.20, that's fine. Or if you make a 1 point, you say, okay, I'm going to push to a 2 point, you set that goal for yourself. You set that goal for yourself. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Females, value yourself. Males, value yourself.
That's right.
Because we normally, when people come and they speak to youth, they focus on females. Males, value yourself. We have a lot of predators who prey on children. They watch and they see when you don't have iPhones and these other things, and they will go and they will purchase these things for you, befriend your family, and then take advantage of you. Be grateful with what your parents give you. Please. Males and females. Males and females. Man 40 charged with unlawful sexual intercourse with a 12-year-old boy. They pray. People prey on children. If your parents can't buy you an iPhone and they only could buy you an Android, take your Android and do what you need to do with your Android. If your parent buy you an HP and you want a Mac, deal with your HP. Do not put yourself in harm's way. Do not put yourself in harm's way. This is real. This is real. This is real. Murder rate is going up. Young boys want that fast life, drug money, gun money, want that fame. But at the end of the day, they can't show nothing to say that they have. You may have, you might get this big money, buy a big house, but guess what? Eventually, the police can crack down on what you're not going to have money to maintain it because of the flashy life. As soon as you get this big money, you can spend money on lawyers. Then, of course, everybody's your friend then. So you can be paying for trips and bottles, hair, nails, and all these other stuff. So that money what you get will be gone in the flash of an eye. Do not allow persons to manipulate you. Be strong. If you don't like something and you don't want to, hey, I'm not on that run. You could go that way. There ain't nothing wrong sometimes being alone, you know. When you're alone, you can sit down and think clearly. You don't always need company. Socializing is good, but at some point, you have to break it off. But I just want to encourage you guys just to keep pushing. That's it.
Let's give a round of applause. We'll now take just maybe two questions. Of something that she would have mentioned. Please, two permanent questions. Press it. Anybody?